Hi, everybody. Hey, how's everybody? It's Wednesday and it's June 23rd. We're almost done with June. What happened? Summer is supposed to be slower. Doesn't seem that way to me at all. We have an agenda. There are items already there. One question from the campus, a bunch of announcements, and some updates. But a reminder first that our convocation for the fall will be Wednesday, August 18. And right now we're still going to be doing this via Zoom. So you can put that on your calendar and be certain that we'll be there for you guys on that day. Let's see, getting to the agenda. The past couple of times we've talked about these three important dates, June 1, July 6, and August 3rd. As of today, there are still no updated guidelines that have been approved for distribution. I do know that they are under construction, that the various vice presidents and some of the health folks from JABSOM are reviewing the guidelines, as well as what's happening at CDC, as well as what the governor is doing. So I expect that we'll see something. I'm hopeful that we see it soon, like in the next, before the end of the month, so that we have a better sense of July 6th and August 3rd. There are ongoing discussions with unions also, so that's still in play. And I wish I could tell you more about anything, but right now we're still waiting for final comments from all of the senior leadership. And let me pause on that note for questions about guidelines that I probably won't be able to answer, but I'm willing to entertain and move those questions forward if other people in the system could answer. Anything, you guys? Feel free to unmute or put it in the chat. Okay, hearing none. But if it comes to you, just throw it up in the chat. We'll get to it. The next thing I just want to update you on is funding. We today were given notification of the last piece of the funding for direct student aid. This is the money that goes directly to students. It's not a scholarship. It is in the form of cash, checks directly to the students. And HERF 1 was called CARES, HERF 2 was called Carissa, and HERF 3 was called ARPA, and they're all together the same direct aid, and it just gets accumulated into one number, although there were three different waves of funding. So the final number for all of the three different waves of funding, the final total amount is $5,954,955. That's 59. I'm putting it in the chat. 54955. That's how much we have available to award the students. How an email list to get the agendas for these meetings sent directly to me. It's a Google Doc, so I don't know how to do that. How you'd have to go and check the Google Doc like sometime before 1 o'clock. Sorry. Yeah. So the system is still working through, and Noeal's not able to be on this call because I'm sure he would be able to help a little bit more, but we are trying to be consistent to some degree with who gets the awards. And then we are also making sure that each of the campuses has some flexibility to identify specific populations to get these awards. Okay, everybody's helping. More help than you actually ever wanted. Any questions about the direct aid to students HERF amount? We'll keep you updated on what gets sent out. I'm pretty sure that we have zeroed out the first wave of 1.411 million. I'm pretty sure all of that is gone. And we're working on the second 1.411 million and the newest amount, which brings us to a 5.9 million total. So we'll be sure to let you know how the monies get sent to the students. Questions? Okay, our VCAS, Brian, has updates plural on operations and other various and sundry things. Brian.
Hi, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. I got several updates, so I'll go through these, and then if you have questions, we'll take them at the end here. So first of all, touching upon business office and budget, we are right now in the midst of closing fiscal year 21. So this is obviously an extremely busy period for the business office. The pandemic's impact on all things fiscal has made this year even more extraordinarily difficult. But the end of the fiscal year is June 30th. Please, if you're a fiscal specialist or Justin reaches out to close some business, please get to that as quickly as you can so we can end the year cleanly. We're also in the midst of planning for FY22. By request from the field, we extended the FY22 program budget request due date from last week, Friday, June 18th to this week, Friday, June 25th. Please be sure to speak with your dean or your appropriate administrator because they may have timelines as to when it's due to them for their review. And with regard to the budget, the governor has recently declared yesterday that he will be vetoing the state budget. The state budget basically consists of 3 bills. It's the executive branch budget, the judicial branch budget, and the OHA budget. I think he is just looking at the executive branch budget, and it's largely because the legislature has asked agencies to use federal funds in ways that they were not intended to be used. And considering that tourism has come back with a vengeance, the outlook for general fund revenues is much brighter than anyone had thought it would be 1 year ago. With regard to return to campus, just as a weekly reminder, kindly ask all of you to help us help you. Please review your return to office plans if you have not done so yet. For those of you who have not been on campus for the last 15 months or in a long time, please make sure you visit your office. We have found from those who have been gone for a year or more that there was an increase in pests, rodents, as well as bugs. And please note that, it's not a good site to walk into. You don't want to do that on August 3rd or July 6th for that matter. So, go in there, visit, see what needs to have, what needs to be paid attention to. We don't clean personal areas such as your desktop, for obvious reasons. That's your personal desktop. But, for things like wiping down windows and floors, at least the floors that are open and free, we'll do that. So again, just go take a visit to your office if you haven't. With regard to that rapid reopening, campus activity has triple percentage increased over the last couple of weeks. Tourists, exercisers, other visitors, even prospective students, that's a good thing, have really popped up recently. We have stepped up our patrols in our parking lots and across the campus, and we are ticketing a lot of vehicles. So please take note of that. Right now, our biggest response to a lot of folks is parking is for employees and students, and for anyone else, it's really not. And I think the message has been received well, but we have to remain vigilant. With regard to using our facilities, again, because of the rapid increase in traffic, even though we aren't fully open yet, we are seeing an increase in facility use requests. So as a reminder, any meeting, event, activity, et cetera, that is not part of a scheduled class or any activity that takes place outside of regular business hours is 0600 or 6 a.m. to 2100 or 9 p.m. or on weekends and holidays. We need a facilities use request. And if your event or meeting does require some assistance from, say, op services for a setup or security for opening up and locking down, we also require a work order with that as well. The internal facility use request, I am going to post that for everyone in the chat. That's the internal facility use request. Again, that's for anything on the weekends, holidays, or outside of regular business hours that is not part of a regularly scheduled class. And finally, HR. Our next HR quarterly meeting is July 9th, so we'll keep reminding you folks until then. You have to register. Agenda is going to be sent out on June 28th. When you register, you can add comments or any topics of suggestions for us to cover. Right now, the agenda is pretty packed, so we may not be able to cover it at this upcoming meeting, but we'll address it at the next one. Or if it's something that you need a response to sooner than that, we'll respond to you directly. With regard to our HR office, like many of your offices throughout campus, our HR office has been hit bad by the hiring freeze. So we are now down to 3 courageous HR specialists that are staffing an office that should at minimum be staffed by 5. I am hopeful, but I have to be realistic with Linda, Darsh, and Maria that I don't envision that the system is going to allow Louise or give us approval to hire. But we'll hopefully be able to ask and we'll see. So please keep that in mind when you conduct business with HR. It's just, they're really slammed right now. They're a 3-man show. Outside of that, if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Anything from anyone on budget, operations, HR, facilities?
Lavishay has a question.
About a HERF.
If we've submitted a HERF request, when will we know if it is approved? For the large majority of HERF requests, you'll know within 2 to 4 days of me receiving it. So it has to go through that chain. Your respective direct supervisor, your dean, if it's not your supervisor, and then the vice chancellor of your respective area. So for yours, in your case, Lavishay would go to Noyao, and then Noyao would send it to me. In some cases, where the purchase is large enough to impact other parts of the campus, the purchase is large enough to impact other campuses, the purchase will otherwise change curriculum, a service, et cetera. We will always want to make sure that we're not going to be wasting any money, even if it is federal funds. So that may take longer, in some cases significantly longer than 4 days, to get back to you. What if it went, I don't understand that question, Lavishay. What if it went through an AGO?
If the AGO submitted the request.
It would be, it would be no different. It would be the same thing in terms of the process. Are you asking who it would go through? Oh, so Kala'uilani submitted on your behalf. So that would still follow a similar process. It would go to Louise, since most of the AGOs report through Louise. We can talk a little bit more about that. This would be the first one that's actually being submitted. directly from an AGO. Well, I can talk to you a little bit more about that. There was a parking question. When are fall parking permits going to be distributed? Good question. Very good question. And something that I was going to be addressing later on this summer. This year, the plan is that every vehicle has to have a parking permit. For you to be authorized on campus, the plan is that every vehicle will have a parking permit. So we're working on a number of different things. The first one is finding someone to order the permits from. Last year, we weren't too happy with the delay in what happened with us. So we may be looking to purchase elsewhere. And then we'll be developing a process somewhat similar to what we had last year on releasing those permits. And I will keep you posted. Thanks for asking that question.
Lisa Aganon has a question, and then Susan Pope has a question, and then Sunny has a question. Lisa, all of the positions that the departments have put forward, we have also put forward to the vice president. We're not holding anything back. So yes, if it's an important position for your unit, we review the critical to fill. There's forms to look into. We try to make them as strong as we can possibly make them before we forward them to the vice president, but we don't hold any back, just so you know. Susan Pope, you have a question.
Actually, Brian, I was talking about the HR positions, Brian. I mean, you said, you know, we want to ask, we hope we get, we're afraid to ask, but that's what I was talking about was.
Oh, no, we're asking.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no,
I misheard that.
I didn't say we're not, I didn't say we're afraid to ask. I said we're hopeful, but we're got to be realistic into what the response is going to be.
Right. I just want to make sure that we, you know, are asking, because otherwise it looks like we can get away without it. And that's definitely not the case. So I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood you, but thank you for clarifying.
Thank you for asking, Lisa. SP.
Hi, Brian. Traditionally, HR provides the list of faculty and staff that we publish in the online catalog. Now that we have a hiring freeze, what's the situation? Should we just fill out what we have so far? Because it deals with, you know, there's certain agencies that want to see our entire catalog published. And it looks like we may not be able to actually finalize all the hiring in a relatively short amount of time. So what's your take on that?
Catalog for what, Susan? I'm sorry.
The official catalog for Kapiolani Community College that appears online.
You're talking about the course catalog.
Well, it's courses and programs and faculty and staff, and the list of faculty and staff is a part of that official catalog.
I see what you're asking. I can't, that's not going to change. They'll still provide that.
But when? Because I know you said you're down to 3 people, so.
Yeah, so I mean, when is it normally provided to you for the course catalog?
Immediately before the fall semester starts.
So that timeline, I will speak with Linda. If that timeline changes, we'll reach out to you and let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because we're getting questions already
Okay.
from people. Thank you.
Got it.
Sunny has a question.
Yes. That's the plan right now, Sunny. I'm assuming you're talking about students who aren't KCC students. They're U8 students, I'm assuming, right? But they're not KCC students. Is that right? Yeah. So so there's a lot of things that we're working through because we've never approached parking permit we've never done our parking permits for everybody who parks on campus. And there's a reason why. Let me explain why we're asking everyone to have a permit this year. We have in many ways in the past been used and abused by many people throughout the community. Parking here at all hours of the night, parking here whenever they want to park here, morning, noon, night, Sunday through through Saturday. And by board policy, this is, let me caveat by saying this. Our plan is not to charge this fall, but by board policy, the expectation was that all campuses were going to start charging for their parking facilities 2 Januaries ago. January 2019. We have chosen not to. And I'll note that it is a violation of administrative rule for the state of Hawaii. The reason why we've chosen not to is because Leeward, Windward, and Honolulu, and I'm sorry, Leeward and Windward have chosen not to institute parking fees as well. So if you're a student, you're getting charged a fee, not too hard of where you're going to be home campus. I'm not going to go to KTC because they're going to charge me for parking in Windward and Leeward or not. But I imagine at some point, all of the Oahu-based campuses are going to have to charge. As you guys know, Manoa's fee for parking right now is pretty high. I think it's $400, $500 a semester. A year, I'm sorry, a year, not a semester. So that's the reason why we want everybody to get a parking pass. And so to wrap up Sunny's question, we're gonna inform you folks on how that would happen for non-KCC students.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, other questions? And Guy says, and because we support access to low cost, that's right. That's why we're not charging yet. The day will come, unfortunately.
That's why we're only gonna charge $380 a year instead of $400 a year like Manoa does. I'm only kidding, everyone. I don't want to get anybody, that's just a joke. We're not gonna charge that much.
Michelle has a suggestion. $5 parking fee with registration, except that not every, that's a user fee and registration is for everybody. So it would be like our bus pass subsidizing everybody, even though you don't use the bus, or this would be, you're charging everybody for parking, even though they don't park.
Dale has a question about non-credit students. Yes, but not in the same manner that we all would have, in terms of a parking plaque or a permit. They would still have to have permission and authorization to park, probably through a short-term like placard for their dashboard or something like that. Dale.
Hey, Brian, thanks for explaining that. And I know that you use the term abused or overly used, but we do have sensitive relationship with our community partners. For example, behind me, Leahi Hospital, and I believe some of their employees park here from time to time, and we've allowed that because they allow us to have our nursing classes over there rent-free. So, I mean, I get it, right? Things may be changing. I think we just need to be able to maybe start the warning process by our security guards and get people used to the idea that this is a radical change, because I think, we definitely don't want to offend our community partners. I mean, the theater parks here during their performances in the evenings and on the weekends. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I know that's sensitivity that we have. Thank you.
Terry is asking that we just attach last year's one.
It's already up there. We never took it down from last year.
But can we attach the last year's one to this year's catalog and then swap it out later? Is that a Maria question?
I'm not sure. What you mean, just change the title and claim that the people are actually working for us, even though they might not be?
Is that what you're asking, Terry? Well, there certainly aren't any new ones.
Well, there's some people that are probably no longer with us or.
Yes, there are definitely some who have retired from last year's list. So it would not be accurate Terry, so I don't know if accuracy is more important than just having something, anything?
Well, ideally, we would have the catalog approved by VA before we certify courses for the fall semester. And that process is a lengthy process. So if, I guess I'm,
If
Yeah.
HR could send me a list of who to remove from last year's list.
But wait, Terry, you're
Yes.
mostly concerned about the courses?
well, we have to send the entire catalog. And one of the requirements is a list of faculty, teaching faculty.
Yeah,
So
well, it's not going to be correct to send last year's list. So I guess the thing is, then we'd have to wait to make sure that the list is accurate. Otherwise, we're sending them wrong information, which is not good. It's a government agency. We don't want to send a government agency wrong information.
If Brian and HR
Intentionally.
send us a list of the people who are no longer officially faculty or staff members, at least we could start on that.
We
Well,
can
let's-
get a list to you folks. This isn't an issue. It's honestly not a big thing, and it's not going to be a problem to provide that. I'm chatting with Linda now, and Linda, I don't know if you can unmic and speak to it if you'd like to, but this is not an issue. It's not a problem for us.
Yeah, we can easily provide a list of active employees, and then we can remove those that have already indicated their intent to retire before the fall. If anything changes in the next 2 months, I can't guarantee that, but I can give you an active employee list and take those that have intent to not continue in fall easily
Right.
enough. Yeah,
And there haven't been that many new employees, right?
I think there's one new faculty, and in the past year there's been like 2 or 3, but
Yeah, so
nothing
that's
significant. Yeah.
okay. All right, well, let's have that get taken offline and we can update this. Thank you. Candy has a question about clarity on vacant positions. Is there a priority list? I don't understand the question.
Is there priority or a list? So is there priority from you? Are you saying that this is more important than this? And this position needs to be filled before this one? Is there a list that you have? So if you're advocating for the positions, you're just advocating for all of them, or is there some kind of way of prioritizing?
We put forward all those positions that are put forward by the departments. So in some cases, there is urgency that's determined by accreditation. For instance, in some of the health programs, there's a time limit on how long you can have somebody is in an acting director position when the position becomes vacant. So those kinds of things are on a different timeline from, let's say, a janitor, which is a health and safety kind of a where there is not that because of the a recent vacancy. After we lost all of the positions that were swept last year, there aren't that many vacant positions on the campus, in fact.
Louise,
Yes.
just a quick question, because folks like Candy and our chairs,
Mhm.
because they completed their budget request, and if they ended up with vacant positions within the last semester or so, can
Mm.
you or Brian maybe explain to folks the process, because the position will most likely end up in their budget sheet. The next step for chairs would be, you could take it from there.
Depends what the chair wants to do.
Okay, got it.
If the chair wants to fill the position or not fill the position based on the demand for the discipline,
Correct.
then that would determine whether or not it's appropriate to push to fill the position in that discipline, reallocate the position within the department because there's a need somewhere else in the department, or whether there are no pressing needs at the moment and the dean lets us know that. And so the vacant position is available at the time for reallocation.
Okay, so that request would go on a critical request to hire and go all the way up to the president.
Correct. If it's a permanent position that the department wants to recruit, that approval is given by the president to go forward with the recruitment.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
That's a good question about.
Huh? I'm sorry?
I told Nava that was a good question
Oh, sorry. I was not paying attention.
because I'm a very positive person.
You are, absolutely, as we all are.
Yes, we are. Probably not more positive than I am.
Oh, well, I don't know that we want to start a competition. Who is more positive than Brian? What would the metrics be? How would we ever know? All right, we are moving ahead. Again, if you have questions that come to you as we work our way through the agenda, please do ask in the chat while we're talking about other things. There was a question from someone about next steps to your I was gonna say future. Perudo was in my mind, that's why. Updates on next steps to your future. What does enrollment look like in the Next Steps summer program? And what kinds of classes are being offered? This one is for Nava'a, who's been our POC on Next Steps.
Okay, thanks, Louise. And maybe if Sherry's on the line, maybe she can help me out. So the numbers we have so far, I'm throwing it up in the chat. So for 2020, Next Steps, we had about 2,086 students enroll. And this summer, we only have 281 students.
And the we there is everybody in the system or Kapi'olani classes?
Everybody in the system. So for this semester, just for Kapi'olani, we have, let me throw this up really fast. Let's see if it's something different. Oh. So these are all the courses that's being offered in the system. The two courses that belong to us, three, Health 120 and 121, they're offered together, and Host 101. And cumulatively, we have, I wanted 35 students, which is part of the 281 students. Possible reasons for the low enrollment is, and I don't know if I said this in another Zoom, so I apologize for the repeat, but it's probably because high school students have never met a top certified instructor like ours. So the only experience they've had with online, which the majority of the courses are online, are with their high school instructor. So I think, you know, last summer, the seniors had maybe 2 or 3 months of an online experience. But this year, the seniors have had a year and 3-month experience, and possibly they're just tired of the way they've been learning asynchronously or synchronously at their high schools. But yeah, but you know what, our top certified instructors, once they get a taste of that, it's all over. But hopefully I answered the questions that people had with the enrollment and what courses we're offering. And this, again, this is system-wide.
Thank you, Nava. Anyone have questions? Okay. There are a couple of announcements. There are a couple of Kaiaulu webinars. I put it in the agenda, but Carol, do you want to let folks know what's coming up this week?
Okay, I sure will. Aloha, everyone. There are 2 Kaiaulu webinars this week, and as you know, Kaiaulu stands for community. And so we have community partners who are participating. Tomorrow's is featuring President and CEO Ed Schultz, who will be talking about Mauna Loa, reinvigorating an iconic brand. He'll be talking about the 75 years that the company has been producing chocolates, and he'll talk about that, and then also the direction that they're going to be going as they look to the future. That will be tomorrow at 5:30, and I will put the link in if you're interested in hearing what he has to say. On Saturday, there is another webinar, which is about assistive technology. It's a show and tell. And so you'll be able to see what some of the latest technology is for helping students who have challenges with vision, hearing, learning challenges, and so forth. And the featured speaker is Hannah Diaz, who is an assistive technology specialist with the Assistive Technology Resource Center. And these resources are all made available free of charge. And so again, I'll put that link in. That is on Saturday at 10 o'clock. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions for Carol about the webinars? Okay, there is a message in the agenda from EPC. Sue, are you on? Go ahead. Let us know what all of that stuff means.
Hi, everybody. If you guys don't know me, I manage the Employment Prep Center on our campus. And for the past few years now, we've been using Job Center Online to promote off-campus jobs to students and alumni. And this is a platform that myself and all the other career centers at all the other community colleges have been using. But due to the budget cuts, we are no longer going to be using Job Center Online. And so on July 1st, students and alumni will use Siki instead. So most of you probably already know Siki because that is the job board for on-campus jobs. We've asked UH Manoa, who manages Siki, to turn on the off-campus side for the community colleges. So for everybody, what does this mean to you? There's not much of an impact. If you do support students and helping them find jobs, you can simply continue to let them know that in addition to on-campus jobs, they can find off-campus jobs on Siki. If folks need help with their job search, you can continue to refer them to my office, the Employment Prep Center. If you have employers who want to recruit students from our campus, simply just continue to refer them to my office, and I will follow up with them directly on our recruiting policies. But if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Again, effective July 1, students and alumni can now find off-campus jobs on Siki.
Thanks, Sue. And can we put your contact email in the chat so that people can make our industry partners about, I need to find somebody. They'll know exactly how to go about allowing them to have that outreach to the students.
Yeah, we'll do it. And just so that you guys know, I've noticed more and more folks now, our employers are reaching out to our office. There's been a while where I have not heard from employers trying to recruit our students, but they're trickling back in. So I expect this summer and then this fall to see an increase in employers recruiting our students.
Right. Thanks, Sue. Okay. Last week, I failed to get an update on search for Shaka. So this is 2 weeks worth of detective work. Darsha, can you let us know what's happening?
Yes. Before I share my screen, I'm just gonna say one more thing regarding the student employment. So we are very excited to have Sue working with us on C-Key for a non-UH employment offers or job offers. But we have historically helped students locate jobs for UH on-campus jobs. And we'll continue to help students if they have difficulty applying for any kind of UH jobs. But I'm happy to have Sue helping us with the non-UH jobs as well. So thank you, Sue. And now I'll share my screen for this week and last week, not this week, last 2 weeks is score for Search for Shaka. And we have two more Wednesdays, that is today and next week, as well as 2 bonus Shakas left before we announce the winner.
Mm-hmm. I see. There's a top 2, and then there's the next 2 fighting for position. Yes.
So every Wednesday, 10 o'clock, next week is the last. And then the results would be announced on July 7th.
Louise,
All right.
are you working through Allison?
I am not.
Okay, just wanted to ask.
Allison's doing this all on her own. Not me. Thanks, Darsh. It's going to be exciting. Hal, I can't find this on the UHCC. The full name is CAC-open. Does that make a difference? I'm going all the way back to the beginning. Did you try that one, Hal? The one that Angela just put up? That I was about to hit send on to? Thanks, Angela. You're so quick. Okay, I think we've run through everything on the agenda. The next, contract renewal and tenure and promotion training. Allison, is Allison on? Do you know what dates they are?
Hi, no, actually, I haven't heard anything yet, so I don't have the new dates. As soon as we find out, it'll be sent out to everyone. Sorry about that. So far, nothing.
Okay, no news.
No news.
Hal says those instructions don't work. Angela. You don't know. Somebody help Hal how to subscribe to CAC-open. We thought we had it all figured out an hour ago. Well, we'll have to get you something, Hal. In the meantime, what? Okay. It's got to be a way. All right, Angela's going to work with you, Hal, too. All right, other questions from anyone? Other comments? Okay, Yoshin, thank you. This is a YouTube. Those zones. Oh, my goodness. You can find anything on YouTube, how to do just anything. Ask Dave Evans. He just did his whole home reno with stuff on YouTube. All right, well, if that YouTube video can help you, if it doesn't help you, can you email me back and I'll make sure I find out for you and everybody else how to do the CAC-open listserv. Anything else? Last time, last chance.
I have something.
Okay, Brian.
It was Louise's, our esteemed, venerable Chancellor's birthday yesterday.
Oh, thank you.
And so
Yay.
I
We
would
stopped
like
counting.
to
Stopped counting.
nominate Nava'a to lead us in a rousing rendition
Oh, no, please.
of It's Your Birthday.
Let's ask Dave. Dave's the singer. I'm the chanter. I can't chant happy birthday. Well, I can try and chant happy birthday. Dave.
All right.
All right.
Oh,
A
no.
one, a two, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Wait, where's everybody else? To you. Happy birthday, dear Louise. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
Oh, my God. Thank you.
Hey, some of you were
Appreciate
sharp, some
all
of
the
you were
good
flat,
wishes.
so we evened out.
How about a Hawaiian chant? I've never heard a Hawaiian Ha'ole Lahanau chant.
Oh, no. Okay.
This was recorded.
Yes, and we will never play it back. Thank you. Thank you very much, folks. It was a delightful birthday. Thank you. We try not to count them after a certain age. So yes. And
Come
of
on,
course,
80 is not old.
yeah,
80
no,
is young.
80, no.
80 is young. You're young.
Even for those of us who are not yet 80, it's still not old. And so that everybody also knows, yesterday was Michelle Sturgis' birthday, Rosalie Fernandez's birthday, and also Sheila Kitamura's birthday, and Ron Takahashi's birthday.
Wow.
And I know our respective parents were very, very happy that everybody was going back to school in September and had an afternoon to themselves. So thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of the week. Be good to each other. Take care of yourself. You know what the flight attendants say, you got to put the oxygen on yourself before you help others. So self-care is very important. Thanks to Cindy for letting us be reminded of that. Self-care is very important. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody. Unmute and
Happy
say
birthday
goodbye.
for those who had birthdays.
Bye.
Happy birthday.
Bye.
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 Isn't that funny?